Folks, Black Bull Markets have 10 merch packs to give away to clients who sign up before the end of the year, including one of these trader keys. So to go in the draw, all you need to do is sign up with the link below this video or in the podcast description, and you'll go in the draw to win. It's that simple. And remember, folks, when you sign up to Black Bull Markets through the Trading Nut link below, you're going to get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000 on your first deposit. All you need to do is click the link in the description below the video or the podcast.
Howdy folks, howdy. Just going to get right into the charts this morning, this day, whatever it is for you. And here we go. All right. So I'm just going to go through each of my charts that I watch and see if there's anything that's kind of changed since yesterday, and see if there's anything I can plan on trying to trade for today. Had some P yesterday, just kind of gave a bunch of chop, so nothing happened there. Today it's taken off into new highs again. We got news today. Yeah. Oh, we got big news today. It's about 12 minutes. So I'm gonna probably not do anything until after that. PMI, manufacturing PMI, and services PMI. All right, so I'll just get some levels lined out and see what happens when they drop the news. And we'll see if there's anything worth worth trading once that happens. I do enjoy comments and interaction, so feel free to post questions, comments, criticisms, compliments. Just another C word. I don't need compliments. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, like I said, I think we're just all-time high. So there's nothing that is going to like until this big white box down here, until that one gets broken down, I think kind of have to stay bullish. And if I'm staying bullish, there's this opening gap here. Well, here, let's do this. This kind of gives me a direction to look for in terms of where a trade would need to be on this kind of bigger picture for me to consider it. Because already right now, we're just getting like almost to these previous tops over here, which wouldn't be a trade for me, but it's kind of, it's too high up in this big run, in other words. So I'll look for anything down in this range here, more specifically in this 62 to 75 area. So that leaves me with a couple of things I can point out. There we go. This is an order block. Let me see, actually. Hang on. It's worth watching there. Next down would be this fair value gap. Actually, this one is the one I like the best. One thing I've been doing is I've been trying to use the same colors for the same thing. So it's kind of tan color for fair value gaps, light blue for order block and white for volume and balance type gaps. So body closed to the next body open. So yeah, here we go. Moving on. Another fair value gap in here. Nothing too crazy, just kind of outlining levels right now to watch as I'm continuing to learn, continuing to train ICT concepts. It just helps me to have stuff outlined, whether or not I use it or not. You know, that's to be determined. So there's an ever so slight fair value gap in here within this order block, which I like. I'm using it in a line instead of a box because it'll be a little easier to see. Let's see. And then the top of that is just barely up like that. So it's a little tiny area. I'm not saying that's like going to be a perfect level to trade or anything, but when there is a overlapping order block and fair value gap, that's cool. I like to see that. Oh, that looked crazy there. All right. Well, I think I'm going to move on. I don't really have anything that's going to be life-changing about this. At least not today. Probably maybe another day, tomorrow or something. See if this one looks any different. I did have. Oh, did I actually trade it yesterday? I had a couple orders in on this on the Nasdaq, but never got it to fill. I think I was looking for a deeper from this move here. I was looking for a little bit deeper of a pullback below that level there. It didn't grab. The idea was cool though. You can see it did move up. I think target was up here by this liquidity, something like that. Anyways, that's yesterday, old news, so to speak. This is opening gap. There we go. All right, we got here. This is fair value gap from yesterday. It's kind of interesting. It's the fair value gap from, I guess, 2 sessions ago is the same gap that's in here for the session change. So that's kind of neat. I'm going to send that on into the future there so I can see it all day. And so let me just look at this 5-minute chart here. Feel free to post any questions you have or curiosities. There's another C word I can keep using. So SS level, if you can see that, I know it's kind of small, but structure shift level is what I label those as when we have a dump out below. This guy here, this was liquidity at relative equal lows. So that just got grabbed out. This guy gets tomato. That way, whenever I see tomato color rectangle, it's liquidity. I'm not going to trade this move, not at the moment at least. Maybe it pushes with further gusto down lower during news. I think let's see. I'm not sure what the Canadian stuff is going to do news-wise, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Moving on. Euro USD. I do like to see this right here, this return and kind of pass through, but then return right to the new week opening gap, this white box that's in here. I was looking at this last night. It didn't present the opportunity by the time I went to sleep, so there's no trade in here. All right, you can see it never broke my structure shift level. It still hasn't. It's just up, 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 up. So I want to zoom out a little bit, 1 hour chart here to see what might be coming. So we're in, I did this little guy here on a daily level. It's the top of a fair value gap. I didn't want to put a huge box in the whole thing, so I left it just the top there. So coming back down to the 1 hour, you can see it probably a little bit better, but it's essentially this whole territory here is a fair value gap on the daily chart. So it's kind of filling that in, taking out liquidity, and then the question is there something further up that wants to seek out? And what I would say is, if I might be wrong on this, I'm wrong on a lot of stuff, but Euro USD going up, as well as S&P and NASDAQ. I guess they're starting to tick down a little bit. That's what's going on. I just ruined my tab order. Okay, so I'm back here on the 1 hour. There is a little bit of a level right here that it's kind of toying with, maybe liquidity. It's already poked out above it though. So really on this one, I'm going to get down to 15. If the news drops and leaves a reasonable, not like one of these like 100 pip 1 minute moves or something like that, which will kind of just probably take me out for the session. I look for a trade in there. It's given good support. Oh, there it comes. Let's see. News just dropped. Big old gap on a couple of these. That's crazy. Well, it's not that crazy. That's what happens. Huh. All right. Well, we'll give it a few minutes to decide anything. That was a bad sip. Just got coffee on my mustache. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of keep going as if I'm not dealing with any news droppings. It's got a funny way to put it. Oh, highlighting the order block top in there, right in the middle of that gap. That's good. That's a good combo. It would allow for some liquidity grab in here. What did I call that? I had a name I liked yesterday for a non-double top or double bottom, triple top, triple bottom liquidity. What did I label it? I liked the name. I think it was here. Probably seems silly to spend a bunch of time looking for a label. That's okay though. Looks like I'm not gonna find it anyway though. Where was that? Euro, USD. Here we go. Sorry about that little detour. Looks like hardly anyone's here today anyhow, so it doesn't matter. Do what I want. I'm gonna set an alert down here for if it takes out this liquidity and comes down into the fair value gap territory. Take that out from yesterday. Let's see, what is the looks like numbers came out stronger for US, which should, well, I would think should. I don't know much about economics, but I think that should push Euro USD lower and dollar higher. But I guess we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that, but I think what I'm deciding now is for short shift. So short shift is going to be something that takes the direction, changes it. That would be me considering this move up here a liquidity grab and a balancing of that higher time frame fair value gap. So once it shifts below this structure currently, and there may be a new structure that forms. Then that would be fighting. I just realized I was on 15 minutes time frame, and now I shifted to the 5. And it's technically it has me a short shift below a couple little levels in here, which 5 minutes where I look for the structure shift. So there's that one, and now that one too. But just don't see what it looks like when it gets up here. There's a volume imbalance. Yeah, I'll watch that. Moving on. UCAD had a little bit bigger of a direction move here. Let's see what happened last night. I was looking at move up, Okay, so I was looking for a, never got it, but it did, the original pullback was actually pretty good in terms of coming into the 62, but it left these three highs, and so what I was waiting for is a raid, one more move up, then the slam down. It just didn't come. So I'm gonna get rid of this fib level. Just don't need that anymore. Just stretch this guy out. Let's just go to 23. So there's liquidity up there. Something to watch for. Structure is breaking. 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of structure breaking to the top side. What is this level? That's the new week opening gap. Didn't quite get there. Yeah, needs the 1 hour. 15. I'm gonna stretch this guy out. There's relative equal lows, kind of lower time frame, but still there. They're in there. To move up, but again, there's another volume imbalance there. What is that? Okay, it's kind of old though at this point. What does that mean? Yeah, I don't. Hmm. I'll leave it in there. I guess it's not hurting anything at this point. I just don't want to treat it too keenly if it's not important anymore. But it has had kind of a little bit of a pull in the price action. And then I'm looking at this one here. Came up, came down, came up, down, through, up to it. I'm going to stretch this guy out. Just kind of midpoint of that consequent encroachment of the volume imbalance. Anyhow, so for here, it's a neat big move. Nothing about it is convincing me to jump into a trade right at the moment. A move like this that's so excited, just a couple candles. Doesn't get me excited about jumping into a trade right away. Kind of want to see if it gets up, takes liquidity, and then what happens. So for now, I'm just going to leave this one be. I'm going to move on. See, double checking these guys. See, it's kind of a nice little pullback into the gap, into the middle of the gap, fair value gap. Oh, hands are in the wrong spot. 10 for fair value gap. Just squeezing past. Wow, can't grab it. There it is. So there's this kind of low quality liquidity raid, meaning it didn't really get too far above there. So I'm here on the 1 minute chart now. This is the move that displaced. This is super choppy chunky. What I would need to feel like a trade is possible here is a 1 minute structure shift with fair value gap left in its wake. So essentially, I wait for 5 minutes to do its structure shift, leave a reasonable area for a gap for a trade, which is this fair value gap. Let's see, price is moving right up into that optimal trade entry level. I don't take an entry on that, but I'll zoom in once it's been into that area, retrace that far, and then look for an entry. So right now, it's just the way this price action is. I don't love it. This is structure shift level for this chart, though, at the moment. There's a little volume imbalance kind of wrapping around the OTE level. Jumped in there. So I could put in another little bottom and then go a little higher. So I set an alert for that sort of thing so I can keep going and looking at the rest of the charts. Put an alert down here so that I can keep going. Euro's looking really similar to that, actually. It's got that volume imbalance. Let it get a little bit more steam to the downside here. UJ got anything going on? Never made it to my short zone. I didn't look at UJ yet. What happened? Huh. Questions and comments, folks, are welcome. Post them up. Let me know if you're trading. Let me know if you got stopped out in that move or if you made a boatload of cash. I'm just joking. You don't have to tell me about your money. I don't care. But trades, I like to see what people are trading. That's fun. Let me know if you got a trade going. I'll take a look at it and see where your entry was and see what I think. Not in any sort of way of I'm better than you, just in terms of what the trade looks like. It's interesting to me. What's going on here? What am I looking at? Price failed to make a new high. Failed to enter daily fair value gap, but closed 1, 2, 3, 4 times it closed in this one. With this, what is that? Short-term high built in there as well. A little bit of a level for trying to say something, I don't know what it is. Oh, a little bit of a liquidity raid there, and now it's dropping. That's a 1 hour level. Okay, so 15 minutes then. What is the move I would base a trade on here? And it kind of has to be this big chungus guy going all the way down. Unless I want to get into a longer term trade. Could look here. This looks like liquidity. Showing up there. Liquidity at relative equal highs. There it is. And yeah, there's some gaps. There's some, I don't know. I don't have anything to be excited about there. Get back to CAD. Here we go. That's where it was. Look at that. Came up, taking out that liquidity right now. Pointed out from yesterday or from earlier in the session. Just got an alert dropping down price. So the structure has shifted. Question is, do I want to trade this when it's moving like the way it is? Actually, you know what? There's not even a fair value gap for me to trade. So I'll get rid of those again. So it did shift structure, but at this point, it's not giving me a location for a trade entry now here on the 1 minute. So 5-minute structure shift comes from here to here. 1 minute structure shift comes from here down to this level here. Here, that's a here, sorry. So it's definitely moving, but I don't trust it, and there's no entry for me, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Could look here, S&P, to see if it's any more convincing. Structure shift. Again, I need to see the structure shift on the 5-minute and the 1 minute. So once the 5 minutes done, like this is, this structure shift happened. That's the one I draw the fib on to determine what the pullback needs to look like. And then I can zoom in. Actually, wait, one more thing up here would be what level in this chunk gives me a reason for price to pull back. So there on the 15-minute chart, there is a order block level. Come on, where's the button? There it is. Order block level here. And then you get to see the gap at the same, inside the same chunk of change, fair value gap with order block 10. There we go. So then when you look at it on the 1 minute chart, oh, still fading. Sheesh. What else is going on? CAD blew out through that liquidity. I haven't even looked at GUGJ. I had a short on GJ last night. Got to my first target and then stopped out, so it's a break even. But now it's down below where I would have had a much better. That would have been like 5 hour. Cool, but it would have. I mean, it stopped me out big time up here, so no big deal. Getting distracted. What's going on? So I've got S&P. Failed for high. That's 5 minute. 5 minute, 15 minute has the level I could use. So I'm gonna set an alert up there, so there's no trade until it gets back up to that fair value gap in order block section. So I can put that away for now. This looks like it's just gonna go choppy woppy. So technically there's a fair value gap I could trade in here. Kind of messy to look at. Question is do I want to put risk on against all-time highs, which is kind of not really what I'm thinking is a good idea. So that'll be the entry spot right there for short. Can do a hypothetical trade. Short hypothetical. Hypothetical stop loss. It's up above there. We'll just call it right there. I feel like I'm all by myself here, folks. If anyone's here, let me know. So quiet. There we go. Nice. Quantum's looking at a fading day. That's kind of how I like to see the market. Like I'm kind of always looking at the reversal idea in terms of looking for the end of something instead of the continuation, which is not necessarily a strength of mine. But that's why I was looking at this and wanting to short it, even though I'm going to wait. I'm not alone. Thanks, Andrew. Okay, man. What's up? Thanks for chiming in. I'm not alone. Appreciate it. Support here. Something just tagged here. What was it? Oh yeah, maybe that already would have stopped out. So cool. So the question is do you get one more strike above the old high? What kind of poke? Liquidity grab before it wants to move back down. I'm gonna get these out of here now. So I'm just going to set an alert up here just so I can watch what happens up above. The S&P's kind of a little slower to move towards that top. It's also, let's see if I can make this a little easier to see. Come on. There, so you can kind of see both of these on the 5-minute chart. You can see S&P did not make a higher high. NASDAQ did make a higher high. So there's that discrepancy there. I know ICT's got terms for it, which I don't know off the top of my head, but that it's called smart money divergence, maybe. It's kind of what's going on. So that's what it looks like to me. But don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to teach you. Levels get in the way. I leave those little price flags on there because they're where my stop was on previous trades. So it's kind of hard to see some of the tops of the candles. So I apologize about that. But it's nice for me for review. Um, dun, 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 dun. All right. I'm just gonna pay attention if price gets down in this area. Took that. Yeah, I'll look at that when it gets when it pulls back down below here. Nasdaq running at the highs. It looks like getting close. S&P though doesn't want to. There it goes into new all-time highs. Something else team ring in my ear here. Which one? Oh, the S&P. Got a little boost off that too. I haven't even looked at these guys yet for today. Oh, that's right. No, I did see that one. Must see structure shift. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. I was looking for a short up there. Didn't happen. Try to clean up a little bit of this here. There we go. That's the better. Oh, let's see. What are you coming into up here there, buddy? Nothing crazy. Next level. Turn my eyes. Next one up. So this is where got to decide if I want to take this against all-time highs here. Okay, so it's not quite ready anyhow, but we're gonna watch it. Don't really have a structure shift level that I like yet, so it's gotta push up what I'd like. This is what I'd like to see here. Price move up a little higher. I'm not trying to be exact by any means here, folks. So, and then there, and then that move there being the one that would look for an entry on. That'd be this the structure shift level I'd look for right there. So come back to that. Where was I? GU. Oh, that's funny. I put a upside down arrow. You guys can't see that, but my little letters are upside down because I drew my arrow backwards. Oh, come on. Convenient until it doesn't magnet to where you want it to be. There we go. Now come back to now. Let's see what that looks like over here. Okay, so it's already through. Why did I not see that? Oh wait. Oh, it's because prices dropped down below it. That's why. So then you move up. Just got ignored. All right. Well, I'm not stoked about anything in here, so just gonna wait. Wait for direction. Crude oil inventories. Oh, I don't even see that on my calendar list. I'm not sure, but maybe. Also, it's just an idea. I'm not a professional, so to speak. So there's the, I guess what I wrote as this arrow here. This could potentially be the bottom there, and look for one more push up. So right now I'm going to look for that level to get into play. Somewhere up there. And we'll see what happens. What's going on here? UJ, what are you doing? 9 minutes. Okay, man, there. Thank you. Oh, I wonder if that's on my. Oh, utility refinery utilization rate change. Maybe that's what you're talking about. I'm filling that guy in. Midway point in that wick. Order block. See that ton of 15. Wrong button. So in a 5 minute, do get the level break. One minute's got no structure shift at this point. Huh. Yeah, kind of like that for a long, based on this move. There. It's all in the right territory, so I need to see structure shift here, just kind of like I had on the S&P. UJ would need that next move back and then a structure shift at the previous pivot. So structure shift level for long currently is there. I like it best when it puts in a lower low first, though. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna alert that and move on. GJ. That's right. This is the one I need to clean up. Shall be on that time frame. Oh yeah, look at that. It's just kind of. It's got liquidity up here. All right, just got an alert. Check it out here in just a second. Oh, it's S&P, cool. So I'm gonna delete that one, and now we have this structure shift level here. Go short, like that. That's my new alert. Leaving equal highs, which isn't ideal. So I like it better when a little bit of a poke up into the old liquidity pool. It still could happen, but right now it's equal highs. GJ coming back to finish my thoughts here. It's an old displacement low for short. Oh, I was on a super high time frame there. Liquidity there. Raid. This could be right here. Inbox there. Still pretty choppy, but this move down is reasonable to consider. That one. Some set my alert up there, and that would be for a little while if it happens. So no big deal there. All right, UJ did its nice little poke down below. This guy. Now, ideal spot for a displacement on the 1 minute chart here for look for an entry. So I do have an alert there. I'll catch it if it comes. Getting there's a little poke here on the S&P. Looking for this level, remember, especially now that it's poked above. Perfect. So let's see if that drops. I haven't looked at Aussie at all. Choppy, wait till it's out. Did kind of miss a couple little trades there, but wasn't here trading, so it doesn't really matter. I was looking at it last night. So liquidity's taken. Whoa. There. It's kind of hard to look at the big gap. I'm going to change the color of that one this time to be a slightly more blend-in color. It's a bit better. So that looks like a liquidity grab to me here in this little chunk. Where's it going though? Does it have somewhere to go? It's taking this liquidity already. So that's cool. But is that all it wanted? Big liquidity pool down below on a higher time frame. Nothing for me here. UJ's looking pretty nice. Excuse me. S&P starting to just fall a little bit. This is my favorite right now. But only if it gets up above this structure shift level. If this ends up just kind of staying in this area here and kind of up and down, chop it around, then I probably would just ignore it at that point. All right, well. Look at that run. 60 pips. 60 pips. 20, 30 minutes, something like that. Cat had some news this morning too. Same time as US, that's why. Okay. Well, um, usually getting done about now. I know there's a couple things kind of setting up, but really not. Oh, the structure shift level just moved there. So I might actually come here in the next couple minutes. Could hang out for a couple more minutes, I guess. Just gonna use more screen space for these two instead of switching back and forth. Hope that's okay. If you have any last questions or anything about my trading or style or whatever, then now's a great time before I head out for my morning walk with my wife. There goes UJ. Not very strongly, but it's up above. There it goes, a little bit more. So this red line and this blue line are for stop loss location, as well as limit order entry. So because I'm basing the move off of this 5-minute push, then I have a 10% of the total size stop loss recommendation level that I use for myself. And limit order, I can just set where I want it to, to get in, which in this case is going to be consequent encroachment of this fair value gap right here. For long entry 10. Okay, man. I'm not been profitable consistently ever. So this last, I've been going in spurts of good and then losing and then good and losing. So I've been trading for 4 years now. It's still a battle for me to find periods of consistent consistency. I'm trying to be a lot more responsible. I've had some of the times of quick account growth and then not fully blowing out, but essentially busting, just kind of going back to where I started. So I am a learning trader, and I think I always will be. Right now, this is my first week of increased risk after quite a while of having it very severely reduced on myself, so that I don't blow this account challenge. So, yeah, I've been trading for 4 years, and I would say I'm not a consistently profitable trader at this point. Trying to get there, but it's just not there yet. But I am favorable for my mindset. It's been growing. I've been developing the humility, I guess, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but just to be willing to admit that I'm I don't do things well, both in times of success, I start doing things wrong, and then in times of failure, I start doing things wrong. So I don't actually. I'm hopeful for this next season because I'm kind of at a place where I'm finally willing to like stop doing the trading for trading's sake because I like trading. I like action. I like essentially kind of gambling, like that kind of. I would gamble with an edge essentially, and then let it move on, and then um, but then it would stop working, and so I change strategies and try to do something different. So I still struggle with it, and I have to be really careful. And to your most recent comment there about what's the common thing, best I can tell, it's when I'm patient. It's when I don't take more trades. I've been able to find good trades for a while now, but the insatiable desire to trade led, I got into trades I shouldn't take. I got too excited about a possibility, especially on 1 minute time frame by itself. I was just trying to isolate that and then trade there. And so when I line things up more reasonably, um, getting my idea from a 5 minute, which to me is kind of almost boring because I have to wait so much more. But I'm waiting more, I'm trading less, and I'm taking more profit. So a couple weeks of consistency in that allowed me to increase my risk a bit. And so far this week's going okay. Um, we'll see. Yeah, quantum. I get that too. I've gone back and forth with um, not having multiple charts open. Lured us like fishes. Yeah, my son's super into fishing, so that rings true right now. Um, uh, yeah. To Quantum's point, just um, keeping the market that I'm trading to a minimum in terms of for the markets, not having too many. I like that idea. I think as long as I have the time to sit and actually look at the charts that I want to trade instead of just like opening them up and going, then I do okay with multiples, and it allows me to watch and um, not overdo it. Yeah, I see that too. Like having both of them open. The one thing about that's one of the things about MetaTrader that drives me nuts is you can't link it to chart windows. So if I draw a line on one open window and then have another window with a different time frame, the lines and boxes and my notes don't show up there. So you'd have to do them twice, or just maybe use one for notes and markups, and then we'll go from there, I guess. I just it this bothersome. Um, so maybe after this challenge, I'll consider like the idea of trading views awesome, and I may consider that once I'm proved that I can just do it without spending extra money on a platform. So do I get the entry? There it is. So I'm in long here. See how it goes. Um, and I think lots of chit chat in the last little bit, and it's kind of time for me to get going. So thanks for chiming in there at the end, folks. I like to think. I like to have conversation. Um, so appreciate it. I will be here Wednesday next week, and yeah, have a good one.